Whoa, talk about a wild ride. Typhoon Family Episode 5 will have you on the edge of your seat. Family drama, business betrayal, heartbreak, and risky deals all collide as Typhoon, our determined young CEO, faces his toughest challenge yet. If you've been following the series, you know things haven't been smooth for Typhoon Trading, but Episode 5 truly cranks up the tension. Ready for a full breakdown of all the craziness, emotional moments, and the jaw-dropping ending? Let's dive straight into the action. We kick off in classic Typhoon family fashion. Chaos and confusion everywhere. Typhoon wakes up in a panic, complaining he's paralyzed, scaring his mom Jong, Mai, and their family friends. Is it a medical emergency or just comic relief? Turns out he's just fine, and everyone has a good laugh at his expense before the more serious problems unfold. The family's living situation is fragile, with Mai Sion, Typhoon's loyal co-worker, and her family also joining the impromptu household mix. Every character brings their own quirks, from Grandma Bunai, who mistakes Typhoon for her long-lost husband, to little Biam proudly introducing himself by his school number. Beneath all the playful banter, though, you can feel the tension and fatigue of a group struggling to survive together during rocky times. With the family settled into their humble digs, we catch glimpses of everyone trying to make ends meet. Meet Ho, Typhoon's sister, is hustling at her job at Moma's pub, dealing with drunken customers, awkward event prizes, and even has to fend off creepy behavior. Wongnam, Mo, the fry cook with a crush, adds comic relief but also warmth. Meanwhile, at Typhoon Trading, Typhoon and Mai Sion try to brainstorm ways to boost their struggling business. These scenes reveal how hard everyone is hustling, not just for themselves, but for the bigger family unit depending on any scrap of hope. Now, things take a real turn when Typhoon, brimming with optimism and innovation, sets up a deal to sell safety shoes, a plan that could finally give Typhoon Trading a much-needed win. The group is all in, preparing business cards and practicing their etiquette for client visits. There's an air of hopefulness, a feeling that this might be the big break to save the company and, by extension, the family's future. But in true K-drama fashion, just as things start to look up, disaster strikes. Typhoon and Mai Sion arrive at the warehouse, only to find it completely emptied. No safety shoes, no stock, just dust and regret. They've been scammed. Mr. Park, the person they trusted, vanished, leaving behind only an empty shell and a mountain of debt. Panic sets in, both for the fate of the company and for Typhoon's reputation. Raw emotion spills out as accusations fly and Typhoon has to face the ugly truth. Their trust has been shattered, and now they're stuck at ground zero with creditors breathing down their necks. Things get desperate fast. Typhoon tries everything, calling for emergency loans, contacting the IMF support office, even looking into small business rescue funds. One by one, his hopes are dashed. The bank says no. Emergency loans are tied up in red tape, and he's reminded just how alone he is when the system won't help. What was supposed to be the safety net for businesses like his is proving to be just out of reach. At home, The emotional toll on the family is painfully obvious. Jiang Mai hugs her son, assuring him that as long as they have each other, they can weather any storm. These moments are heart-wrenching. Typhoon finally breaks down, sobbing in his mother's arms, feeling utterly defeated and scared for their future. She comforts him, promising to always be his anchor even if her own life feels like a mess. It's these small, honest scenes that show the true heart of Typhoon family, the unbreakable bonds that keep them pushing forward despite all odds. Meanwhile, Miho continues her own journey. She's working hard at the department store, trying to shake off workplace humiliation, but Biam, her brother, sees the strength in her hustle, even if she doesn't. This subplot adds even more layers, showing how every family member is putting in their all, despite feeling lost or frustrated. Back on the business front, a new glimmer of hope appears when Mai Sion's contact reveals that part of their lost stock, 500 pairs of safety shoes, may be recoverable, but only at a steep price. Enter Ryuhui Ju, a ruthless loan shark who demands a 5 million payout to release their goods. Typhoon, against all logic but driven by family pride and desperation, decides to go to Puzin to see if he can salvage anything. And this is where episode 5 hits its fever pitch. Typhoon, Might, San, and their team confront Ryuhui Ju and his thugs in a grim warehouse. The stakes have never been higher. Typhoon is offered a devil's bargain in exchange for more money and unthinkable collateral, including a threat to literally give up an eyeball. He can potentially cut a deal to sell thousands of shoes, pay off debts, and save the business. But this means dancing with the devil. The entire atmosphere is tense, the threat of violence and total ruin hanging over everyone's head. In a bold, emotional climax, Typhoon chooses to risk everything. He offers to sell all 7,000 shoes, promising to pay back more than is even owed, staking his own future and being on the hope that this deal will finally turn things around. The threat of permanent injury, humiliation, and even more debt looms heavily, but Typhoon refuses to back down. He refuses to let his family lose everything. The episode leaves us wondering, will this gamble pay off, or is it just one step closer to disaster? As the credits roll, the future is uncertain but hope flickers. We see the family holding onto one another, clinging to promises and little victories. A hot meal, a laugh, a quiet word of encouragement, even as they face down merciless loan sharks and a collapsing business. No matter how bad things get, their faith in each other doesn't falter. The episode's emotional rhythm pulls us through ruin and resilience, leaving viewers hungry to see how the Typhoon family will weather the next storm. In short, episode 5 is all about fighting for family, refusing to give up, and finding strength in the darkest moments. Typhoon's risky decision is both inspiring and heartbreaking, reminding us how crisis can push people to their limits, but also reveal the core of who they really are. The episode wraps with unresolved tensions, big questions about business survival, and the unbreakable spirit of a family holding onto hope by the thinnest thread. If you loved this recap and want to share your thoughts on Typhoon, Peng's hard choices? Let me know in the comments below. Was his decision brave, reckless, or a bit of both? Drop your theories, favorite moments, and reactions down there. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive recaps and ending explanations from Typhoon family and your other favorite dramas. See you in the next storm.